Are there different ways to lower emissions other than using what isn't lowering emissions, carbon tax? Because carbon tax, all it really does is people who've got to get to work and drive and go anywhere, or stores that need food delivering, all that really does is make that more expensive to do. It doesn't actually stop them from doing it. We're not going to say, hey, we're not going to deliver any more food to stores because yeah, we don't want to pay the carbon tax, are we? Premier Danielle Smith thinks that LNG could be the answer to reducing emissions and making everybody in the world happy about what Canada's doing, rather than taxing the people at the point of sale. Let's have a listen to what Danielle Smith said.
If Ottawa looks at the criticism of those policies, they could also point, could they not, to the fact that this is all change.
I wish you wouldn't say that word.
What I think the premiers are beginning to see is we tried a carbon tax. We tried a retail carbon tax to see if it would reduce emissions. And in point of fact, it hasn't. The things that have been successful in reducing emissions are things like we've done in Alberta, converting from coal to natural gas that reduced emissions 53%, having methane rules so that we were capturing methane from venting, that reduced emissions 45%. It's going to be the big investments from large companies who are producing large amounts of emissions with new technology to do abatement. That's what's going to make a real difference. And then using those technologies and exporting them to the world. We're talking right now with the federal government about how we might be able to create a pathway to participate in the markets in South Korea and Japan because they're seeking ammonia. They want to be able to do dual combustion, have ammonia and coal at the same time to bring emissions down. We know with LNG export, it will have that same effect of displacing global emissions. We know that developing out our hydrogen economy as well, whether it's adding it to home heating or whether it's using it as a transportation fuel, that'll reduce emissions as well.
I said before on this channel, all we need to do is get LNG and get it out to all these countries, get it out to China and India. LNG would reduce coal use like fourfold.
So I think that the premiers are coming to the conclusion that there's different and better ways to reduce emissions, and it doesn't require things like carbon taxes.
To me, LNG is a no-brainer. Why are we not exporting LNG? It's one of Canada's largest, well, not the largest, but it's one of the biggest assets that we have. It's under the ground. We get it out, we get it tanked up, we get it sent off to different countries. They pay us tons of money for it, and rather than export coal from BC, which we are doing, Canada exports coal to China, let's export LNG instead. And LNG could help clean up China, stop the smog there. It won't do anything for the weather, obviously, because that's going to happen anyway, but it will help clean up China and clean up the Chinese industry, and also India. If we send it to India, help clean up the Indian production industry also. LNG, she's right. What do you think? She's right. I think she's right. LNG is the way to go. But Trudeau doesn't want that. And that is, let's just hope that if Poilievre gets in, he goes for LNG and we actually start making tracks into reducing smog in these other countries. Okay, till next time, guys.